Well, welcome back. All right, it's cutting-edge technology to treat patients battling cancer. It's called proton therapy. Joining us now to discuss this treatment offered here locally is Heather Oakley, who's the Director of Social Services and Clinical Social Worker at UF Health Proton Therapy Institute. That's a long title. And she's joined by Graham Edwards, who traveled from the United Kingdom here to Northeast Florida to receive his treatment. Graham, we're going to get to your story in just a sec, but first, Heather, let's talk about this. The reason we have Graham here is that the UF Proton Therapy Institute, 11 years now running, treats people, obviously in our community, but treats people from all over the world because of how specialized and how unique it is.
Yes, that's correct.
And what is the, I mean, in your role, how has that evolved over time? Because people flying in, it's like there's things that they need.
Yes, so you're coming from a foreign country or from outside of Jacksonville, you've left all your support systems at home, you don't know anybody, it's a new medical team, it's a new treatment, and that's pretty overwhelming for patients. So we try to really put patient engagement programs together so that patients meet one another and can support one another alongside us supporting them.
And Graham, I want to talk to you because this is something that people know about the Proton Institute, and you were actually recommended by your physician.
Yeah, my surgeon.
Yeah, your surgeon told you need to go to the States after you'd gotten your surgery.
It kind of came as a shock, really. He explained that there was a need for radiotherapy after surgery. Didn't explain that I'd be coming all the way to Jacksonville to receive it. So that one was really thrown in at the end of treatment.
But what was the cancer that you had?
It was called a chordoma. So it's a tumor that's within the vertebra. So I had a spinal cancer. It's a tumor that's within the L3 vertebra of my back. It was treated initially by removing the whole vertebra, and then after that, subsequently using radiotherapy to ensure that it doesn't come back.
And one of the reasons, Heather, that they would recommend that for something like that, I'm sure your physician talked about, standard radiation.
Yeah, the dangers that can come with that.
What did he say?
Well, he explained that there would be damages to all of the organs in front of the site that would be exposed to the radiation, and there's also a chance that it can cause degradation to the bone in the spine as well. And the area where I've had metalwork and pins put in to keep me upright, that can also be degraded by the radiation. So using something like proton therapy is a lot more effective because it's a much more targeted, very precise form of radiation.
So you had obviously a lot of knowledge coming into it from your physician, but is that something that some people, when they fly in and they've heard, hey, you got to come to this, like you said, you got to come to Jacksonville and you're going to get your treatment there, they have to be wondering, why can't I get this treatment somewhere else?
Right, and so part of what we do is educate patients on what proton therapy is and why it's useful. So it's as effective as conventional radiation. However, the difference is the dosimetrist, the physicist, and the physicians develop a treatment plan that's specific for each patient. It has an entrance dose, and then we can make it stop, whereas conventional radiation touches everything and has an exit dose. So healthy organs are being exposed with conventional, whereas protons we can spare.
And they explain, from what I've learned, unfortunately all of us, I think, at some point have been touched by cancer in someone in our family, but there are a lot of younger, pediatric type, because you don't want to damage so much of the healthy tissue, and it's such a smaller entity. But Graham, you're how old?
I'm 23.
23, so on the younger side, are you doing your treatment now? Or
I'm just over halfway through it.
And the side effects normally of radiation, are you seeing?
Nausea, it's quite uncomfortable. I spend an hour a day with my arms above my head, so it's not the most comfortable of things, but it's
comparatively, proton therapy, I've heard, has
there's a lot less side effects to conventional radiotherapy. Interesting enough, I had conventional radiotherapy whilst I was here. So the first few treatments that I had were conventional radiotherapy. I was definitely very nauseous. I was definitely very ill after that. But the proton therapy, it seems to have just got away.
Yeah,
I've had 15 or so treatments on proton therapy now, and
it's something that
I feel fine.
With Heather, I know that you guys have these programs in place. We've been over there, and there's all kinds of activities and things that you plan for the people that come in. So what has it been like meeting some of the other people that have come in from elsewhere, and because you're going through 13, like I said, what, 13, 14 weeks of it?
Well, I have 41 treatments in total. So I effectively get microwaved 41 times in a few weeks. But the thing about meeting other younger people here is everyone has, it's usually quite a similar story, but everyone has their own unique take on what it means to be out here. And just being able to come together with other people who are my age, not even just my age, people who are 5, 10 years young, well, not 10 years, 5 years younger than me, or a few years older than me. We've all been uprooted from a very tender part of our lives, just escaping teenage years, and then, I finally start to get a little bit of independence, and then this happens,
So it's got to be nice to have kind of that family feel.
Yeah, there is definitely a family feeling. Not even just with the younger lot. The older side. The best part about that Proton Therapy Institute is that when you're in the waiting room, there is no Wi-Fi. I mean, whatever. That's intentional. That's a genius move to make us all talk to each other. You're sat there sometimes for an hour. If there's something wrong with the machine, you're waiting there for an hour before you can get treated.
It's a family
feel. So you have to talk to people. You'll go mad.
It's really cool. Appreciate you sharing your story, and thanks for what you guys are doing over there, Heather.
Thank you for having us.
All right, we want to thank UF Health Proton Therapy Institute for sponsoring this segment. For more information, you can head to their website, which is floridaproton.org, or simply call them at 904-588-1800.